masterclass about crypto, blockchain, how to buy cryptocurrencies, how to sell them, how to protect your cryptos, and everything in between. At the end of this video, we will be also talking about taxes on cryptos and other things too. So let's start with the basics, because if your basics are clear, then understanding the complexities or the things that I'll talk about later in this video will become much easier for you. So the basics are, what exactly is blockchain? What exactly is cryptocurrency? Well, cryptocurrency is nothing but digital currency that is transferred peer to peer. What does it mean? Well, to understand this, we need to go back to 2008. In 2008, we had a major global financial crisis that started from US housing market getting collapsed completely, and then we saw the US stock market collapse. During the collapse, people understood that the money that they have is just a piece of paper. The cash has literally no value backing it up. The US government can print as many dollars as they want, and the inflation would keep on rising. A financial collapse like this might cause people not to trust in the government, and hence the US dollars might collapse as well. They wanted a currency that was truly theirs. It wasn't governed by middle parties like banks or government entities. If they wanted to transfer their own hard-earned money from their account to someone else's, they didn't want any banks or government entities to have control over it. And that's where Bitcoin was born. Now mind you, Bitcoin was not the first cryptocurrency. There were many other cryptocurrencies that were made before Bitcoin, but yes, Bitcoin was the first successful one. I've made a complete video program on the basics of crypto and blockchain where I've deep dived into every single thing. If you're new to cryptocurrencies, then that is one video that you should really watch. At the end of the program, you also get a certificate. So the links would be down in my pinned comment as well as in the description. So go check it out. It's really important. But now let's go back to the video. Now Bitcoin, with the help of blockchain technology, which I'll be talking about later in this video, helped in doing transactions directly from peer to peer. What does this term actually mean? Well, this basically means that there is no middleman in between. There are no banks, there are no government entities looking over your transactions, and these transactions directly go from the sender wallet to the receiver's wallet. No one can actually block your account or stop you from doing transactions. This was a big move that helped give financial powers back to the people. With Bitcoin or with any other cryptocurrency, you have full authority over your cryptos. No one can stop you from doing transactions. So let's now understand why this happens and what exactly is blockchain technology. Well, when I was first getting into blockchain, I understood blockchain as this simple concept of being a database. It's a type of database which has its own rules. So for example, this particular video that you are playing is currently stored on YouTube servers, and that's where you are getting all the data from. Similarly, with blockchain technology, all of your transactional data of Bitcoin is stored on blockchain, which is decentralized. There is no one server that is hosting all of this data. But blockchain, however, it's not centralized. It's not just on one server. So that's why blocking it is next to impossible. And that's exactly what is called as decentralization. There's no central authority governing it all. But then what is mining? In order to understand what mining is, let's look at our existing financial system. Over there, say for example, I have 1000 rupees in my bank and I want to transfer 100 rupees to my friend Raj. Now in order to do so, I have to go to my bank, tell them to transfer these 100 rupees, and then once they approve, they will then send that 100 rupees to my friend. That's how the current financial system works. If tomorrow I have no balance and I try to do the transaction, the bank will flag it and block the transaction because I don't have the money to do it. This is how fraudulent transactions are actually taken care of. It's taken care of by the bank acting as the middleman. However, in blockchain technology, there are miners who validate all of the transactions. So say for example, if I have 10 Bitcoins and I want to transfer it to my friend Raj again, now this time I can transfer those 10 Bitcoins and the miners will validate if I had those 10 Bitcoins in the first place or not. If they find that I'm doing some kind of fraudulent transaction, then the miners will reject that transaction completely. So as you can see, there is not just one person who is validating all of these transactions. Anyone can become a miner and validate them. But then the question arises, what is the benefit for these miners and how do they validate these transactions? Well, let me answer one by one. So the first is, how do they validate these transactions? They use computers with high computational power specifically designed to solve cryptographic functions. These computers are often called as mining rigs. Setting up a mining rig might cost you a lot, as well as you might have to spend a lot on the electricity as well. So why would someone want to become a miner by paying fees and just validating these transactions? There needs to be some kind of benefit for them as well. The benefit for them is that whenever they validate a transaction correctly, they get some Bitcoin. So this is how the entire system works. The sender sends Bitcoins to the receiver, and the transaction is validated by miners. Now that is just Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's blockchain only supports storing of transactional data. If you remember, I mentioned blockchain is just a type of database. So can we store more than just transactional data? Can we store photos, videos, just like we have servers of Google and Apple where we store our photos, where we store our videos? Can we store all of these things on blockchain as well? The answer is yes. You might have seen the rise of NFTs in 2021-2022. NFTs were nothing but photos and videos that were stored on the blockchain. At that time, mostly Ethereum blockchain was being used for this. This is because Bitcoin's blockchain was specifically made just for storing transactional data. However, Ethereum's blockchain goes a step further. Over there, you can also deploy your own applications, store photos, store videos, do everything. Now apart from that, there are a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can deep dive on, and I've made separate videos for it all. If you're someone who wants to get into the crypto world and start buying cryptocurrencies, selling them and doing all sorts of things, then how do you actually begin? What is the first step? For that, we need to understand what exchanges are, because over there you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Now exchanges are of two types. One is a centralized exchange and another is a decentralized exchange. Centralized exchange are nothing but exchanges which are run by companies or people behind them. For example, the biggest centralized exchange right now is Binance. Then there are others like Coinbase, and in India we have CoinDCX, Mudrex, and so on and so forth. All of these are crypto exchanges where you can do your own KYC and start buying and selling cryptocurrency. But there is something else which is called as decentralized exchange. As we saw, the start of cryptocurrency happened because they wanted decentralization. They didn't want a central authority to monitor over every transaction. And that is why we have decentralized exchanges as well. Over there, you don't have to do any type of KYC, and you just have to connect your wallet and start trading. You can buy and sell cryptocurrencies directly with the help of your wallet. So what are these wallets that I'm talking about? Well, wallets like Trust Wallet, MetaMask, and Phantom are pretty popular. If you want to learn in depth about decentralized wallets, then just leave a comment down below and I'd love to make a video specifically for wallets. So now that you've understood how to buy and sell cryptocurrencies on both centralized exchanges as well as decentralized one, let's now talk about how to store your cryptocurrencies securely. There have been numerous hacks in the past which have led to losses of billions of dollars. If you don't want that happening with you, then listen to the next part of this video. So how do you store cryptocurrencies securely? Well, the most unsecure method is to store it directly on a centralized exchange like Binance or any other. If these companies fall or are subject to a hack, then your cryptocurrencies might vanish overnight. And this is not something rare. Many hacks on these cryptocurrency exchanges have happened in the past, and many people have lost billions of dollars. The second method is storing your cryptocurrencies on your hot wallet, which is MetaMask, Phantom, or any of these decentralized wallets that I just talked about. Even that is not secure, because what if your wallet gets hacked? The most secure method of storing your cryptocurrencies is in something like this. This is known as cold wallet. Now, cold wallets like Ledger Nano and others, they provide a secure way of storing your cryptocurrencies. These wallets are not connected to the internet. So that's why the possibility of a hack is very less. So now let's move over to the last portion, which is probably the most important one. The question of what are the taxes on crypto in India. I've made a separate detailed video on how to avoid taxes completely in India. Then you can go check out this particular video. Now, I don't recommend any of this, but in India, the taxes on crypto are currently on 30%. So say for example, if you buy 1000 rupees worth of Bitcoins and tomorrow its prices shoot up to 2000 rupees, you have to pay 30% on the 1000 rupees gain. Now this is just when you sell your cryptocurrencies and not before that. You also have to pay 1% as TDS charges. But there are numerous ways that people avoid paying these taxes, and there are some legal loopholes within these systems as well. So I've talked about that in detail in this particular video, so you can go check it out. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. You've learned everything, right from what cryptocurrencies are, what blockchain technology is. the different types of cryptos, how to buy and sell cryptocurrencies, different types of exchanges, as well as you've learned about decentralized wallets. Now, after this video, I don't think you need any other video to understand cryptos and blockchain. But if you still have any doubts, you can leave them in the comments down below. Like this video, it takes a lot of effort in creating such videos, and subscribe to this channel for more such content.